Hello everyone, welcome to the video, and here is me and Polio ranking all the perks in Thronefall. Largely the content is unfiltered, unedited, just small cuts, so might seem like a bit unpolished. Well, that's why. It was just, there's no script, no nothing, we just went at it live, so yeah, enjoy if you want and don't if you don't, so yeah. There you go. Alright, then here we go.
No,
Actual tier list starts right now. Horse speed, right?
yeah, agile horse.
Yeah, can you read the description from Thronefall as I select them so that people will know exactly what perk is what?
Yeah, sure. So this perk's called the Agile Horse. You no longer need to be on full health to allow sprinting.
Again, oh man, so you don't need to be on full health to allow sprinting. I can see some potential sometimes, but most of the time if you just micro well, this perk is irrelevant. But for newer players, I guess it could help a bit, but it doesn't really impact the game that much, so I'll put it in C tier for now.
I personally haven't used it.
Alright, I tried it like once and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, I can run through them and still be fast, but it doesn't change much. If you just micro well, you're just gonna be out of their attack range anyway, so it doesn't matter. And same for arrows, you can just perfectly kite all arrows from the game, except for like some very niche ones. No, yeah. I think you can kite any projectile. Is there any projectile you can kite? I think the wasp aerial projectile shoots at you. I think you cannot dodge that anyway, so it doesn't affect the perk. Anyway,
Yeah,
all shrines activated, map specific. On some maps this can be quite good for new players, but again, for anything such as, I don't know, world records or anything like that, you'll probably not use this. Or speedruns, or...
Did you not want me to describe what it actually does? Or...
I'll describe it, I know this one very well.
Well, the
actually, you
shrine...
read the thing.
Ancient shrines do not have to be purchased and shoot plus 50% stronger projectiles, but they require 100% more energy to be activated. So, pretty much what you said, it's a bit of definitely map specific, and you know, for certain runs it's kind of, you'd rather have some other perk, to be honest.
Yeah. Alright. Next up. This one reduces HP, right?
Anti-air telescope.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's the anti-air telescope. Flying enemies have negative 25% max health and deal negative 25% damage.
It's probably niche. It's niche or C tier.
If there's lots of flying enemies, this is probably a decent one, but if the map has no flying enemies, then it's
absolutely
useless.
worthless.
Like, why even have it? There's no flying enemies.
Like, the only reason you'll ever use this, if you're trying to min-max and on one wave you're like, okay, I need to deal a little bit more damage to flying units. Maybe you're going like a full melee, not melee, I mean full range solo hero build, and let's say you're playing with lightning staff, and you can't one-shot witches, and you prefer that because, I don't know, they might hit your economy structures. Then yeah, you could play this and one-shot the witches. And that sounds very specific because I've been in that situation before. But yeah, it's not a great perk. Next, Arcane Towers.
All of your towers have plus 20% range, and their projectiles deal plus 33% more damage to enemies.
Okay, the only reason I'm not putting it in S tier is because there's a better perk for towers. But if you play a tower build, you absolutely always want to run this. It makes all your towers so much better. The range is amazing, the damage is amazing, stacks with other damage, range damage modifiers. It's really, really good. So if you do towers, always have this in. Okay.
For sure.
Archery Gales.
Yeah, the archery skills. All your archers have plus 60% more range and plus 60% projectile speed. And I will say, I have personal experience with this one. I have a lot of it. I may be biased that I really like this, but maybe it's not good for certain strats.
Alright, so I always thought this is just a completely worthless perk. But I've played more with it lately. And especially on Durstein against archers with the specific modifier that increases the enemy range, they outrange your crossbowmen. But if you're on this specific perk, that's not the case. Does it help you actually achieve anything? No. If you're a beginner, does it help a lot? Sure. But having extra range and projectile speed does increase your DPS, so just for that fact alone, I'm gonna put it in C tier. If you
I
go
think it's better than
range,
the horse. I think
it's better than the horse for sure. It's better than the horse, that's for sure. Yeah, we're gonna put it like this for now. I would not recommend this perk, but if you want to go unit, like a lot of ranged units, and have fun, sure, go for it.
Yeah, crossbowmen are really good with it, and I bet the longbows are going to be really far away. Like, really far away. It's decent, but yeah, it's not perfect.
Alright, Council. Architect's
The
Council.
Architect Council. The build options from the next Castle Center upgrade are already unlocked, so this means you have more building options to choose from early in the game. One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's amazing. This perk alone allowed me to get the strat that actually got the world record on Thronefall, so I love this perk. There's a lot of funny things you can do with it. However, the biggest problem with it is, as good as a perk it is, it might even be at the top of A, it is map specific. Sadly, on some maps you just don't want to run this ever. It doesn't help as much. On other maps, it's really good.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the map. Nordfell's benefits the most from it.
Yeah. You can do a lot of things on Durstin as well, with a lot of mutators. You can get a lot of army before getting the castle, which it does help a lot. Those 7 coins actually matter. You can use this on... there's that map that does not allow you to get units early, and I forgot the name of it. The big one, there's a lot of spiders. The circular one, the one that's like pinkish, pink-reddish.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on that map, you could use that as well.
Wildback, right?
What's this one? Polio?
Hold on. You're gonna edit this video, right?
Yeah, you'll edit it.
Wait, I'm editing. Hold up one moment.
I don't have the
I have
time
things
to edit
do,
it.
bro.
Me too, I have work and shit.
Man, I mean, I just got a package that I need to open soon, but let's continue with this. Alright. So this is the walls one. Castle blueprints, walls and towers have plus 50% more health. This is really good in certain circumstances. In certain circumstances where you have maybe like where the walls share health, this basically makes your walls untouchable in certain maps.
Yeah, this is, even like especially for like new players just trying to get multiple quests in one run, this helps you so much. It's crazy. Like exactly like you said, you have that wall that the walls share HP. You have this and upgrade your walls, and then just sit behind the wall and wait for the enemies to die. There's just nothing they can do unless they have like catapults. So extremely good perk. I'll put it maybe at the bottom of A tier or top of B tier.
I think top of B tier, like the very, very top.
Is fair, yeah. A is a bit high. Harbors.
Ooh, okay. So this bad boy. Big harbors. Harbors have a capacity for 2 additional fishing boats, have 100% more health, and spawn with 1 boat in the water. Upgrading into level 2 costs plus 3.
Okay, so this is an amazing perk. Increases your eco by a lot. It is map specific because the map does require to have a port, and I don't think is better necessarily than Architect's Council. It depends heavily. If you're playing an eco run, then yeah, of course it's better. But you know,
yeah, and you have to play at the beginning. You can't do it. You can't do it at any point. You have to do it at the beginning, or else it's not going to be fully utilized.
Yeah. So as early as possible, if you're on this perk, try to get them. And when you have 3 boats or 4 boats, try to upgrade. Not before, you're not going to get the value out of it. As long as you have other buildings, of course, like eco buildings to still build. But by then, by the time you finish your mills, you're probably going to do your... of course, mills and mines, and then you're probably going to want to finish your ports and then houses. Once they have 3 or 4 boats. Before that, finish houses. Alright. Next up.
Castle fortifications. Your castle center has plus 150% health. The interval between its attacks is reduced by 67%, and its attack range is increased by 50%, which makes your castle quite beefy. which in certain circumstances can really, really, really help you out, especially if your
Yeah.
cast is about to die. Personally, I think it's a really good perk,
I disagree.
but I know.
I disagree. I think it's a horrible perk. Well, it's a great perk for new players, so their castle doesn't die. That's for sure. If you feel like your castle doesn't have enough HP, then just upgrade your castle or protect it better. Invest your money somewhere else. Any other perk could benefit you more. Stopping the enemy before they reach your castle is far more important than having your castle stronger. So, I think it's just not that good of a perk. I will never pick it in any run ever.
Yeah.
Most of the enemies you can
thing
also
is
micro in the first
that-
few waves, and this only helps you in the first few waves. Other than that, it doesn't help.
Yeah, I suppose I just mean that the amount of buffer is really, really helpful on certain things. So, you know,
And I also
yeah.
think that even the horse one, where you maintain the speed, is even better than this. I think this one is at the bottom of C tier for now.
I disagree.
Really, no, I think being able to kite more, like just if you lack some micro skill and now you're able to kite better, I think that gives you way more value than your castle being a bit stronger. Because you could kite the enemies
I
before they even reach your
disagree.
castle. Why?
I disagree because the fact that the castle is much stronger allows you to survive. Because if the castle gets destroyed, you lose, obviously. But if your castle can defend itself easier, you could do other things and then defend your castle. And once your castle's level 3, it basically becomes a gigantic health pool that can barely be touched. With the horses, you just get the speed. But if you're just good at microing, that becomes completely negated. But plus 150% health on top of that is quite a lot. And on certain mutators and other things, it could be experimented with. I believe it could be good for at least one thing. But again,
You know what? Sure, you've convinced me. You're right. But, for newer players that try to micro and don't have the necessary skill, this might be better. But if you micro really well, then this will be better. Alright, you know what? You make a really good point. You've convinced me. Next up, what is this called? Faster soldiers?
This one. Yeah, the Cobbler. I think that's what it's called.
The cobbler.
All your melee units move plus 50% faster.
Sorry. Absolutely useless. Okay, no, niche. I was gonna disregard it completely, and then I remembered on Nordfell's last wave, where you want to like rotate your units around a lot, especially if you play. But if you play with a lot of mutators, you're never gonna use this. Like every other perk's gonna be better than this. I'm sorry, no, this is D tier. It's not even niche. You will never want this. This is negative. This is negative. I'll explain to you why this is negative. The reason you absolutely don't want this, you play barbarians or berserkers, whatever they're called. I'm sorry, I forget the name. Correct me, Polio, if I'm making a mistake, but
I think it's Berserkers.
okay, berserkers. They need to be a certain range away from enemies to initiate their jump attack. So now they move faster to the target and never activate their ability, so you lose out on a lot of DPS. So it's the worst perk in the game. I've just made up my mind. It's horrible. You don't want this. Unless, like, the only way you'd play this is you're playing on a map where you want to rotate units extremely much, you need a lot of micro, you're not playing berserkers, and that extra 50% movement speed will make a difference, which it will never do. You will never want this. I can't even think of a reason why I would pick this perk ever. I would rather have anything else. Absolutely any, even the niche one. I would rather have this than the speed. I would rather have this on an air map than this if I play berserkers. It's insane. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely not very good, and it's only for very, very, very specific things where you could even utilize it. But
Here's a recommendation.
I personally,
you know what this
wouldn't
perk
use it for anything else.
should say here?
What?
All your units move 50% faster, and then maybe we can talk about it. Until then, useless.
Okay, if it was like not, if it was instead of melee units, it also included
Heroes.
the ranged units, then I think there would be a much better case, because if ranged units could move 50% faster, that's actually helpful.
It would automatically go high in C tier, maybe even low in B tier.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Like imagine being able now to kite around with archery guilds If that was possible, you would put archery guilds on your crossbowmen and kite around with them. Like, that would be insanely strong. All the enemies would miss the range shots, and your crossbowmen are just gonna kill them.
Yeah, recommendation though, if it was on all units, perhaps it could be dropped to maybe 33% faster or something else.
Probably, yeah, 50% is a lot.
Yeah, so 33% is probably, or 33% is probably going to be the best for
what I imagine the devs probably thought of this perk, thinking the units would respawn and reach the battle faster. That was probably what they were thinking of. But
yeah,
if you play for like mutators and records and such, you will always run the perk where units never respawn anyway, so it's a dead perk. Anyway.
Yeah, if you're using it for that. But here comes like one of the best
the
perks.
Absolute, probably one of the best contenders for the best perk in the game. Commander mode.
All of your units and buildings deal plus 40% more damage to enemies, but your own damage is 60% less effective.
Alright, this includes units, towers, your houses if you have any, which with the perk are allowed to deal damage. And your heroes, and what else? I guess heroes does fall under units. And your own castle, absolutely everything. It's insane. It's crazy. 40% more damage. Most of the time, whenever you're doing something. If you're not, especially if you're running the pacifist perk, automatically put this in. It's a must.
Because yeah, if you have the pacifist packed, then you may as well, just use it.
Yeah, commander mode improves everything. Sure, your damage is gonna be less, but you can just run some utility. Like, for example, you could run the lightning staff and just use it to kite around enemies. You don't care about the damage, you just want the aggro. Anyway.
Only situation where I think that would not be very good is if you're doing a king-centric play, like a specific strategy where your king has to be powerful. That is a very big debuff. So that's the only situation I can imagine it being bad.
You're right, yeah. If you're buffing your own hero, then you're never going to run commander mode. It's a decision you have to make. I mean, am I going to make my hero very strong or all my units very strong? Or a hybrid. But if you go hybrid, never run this and, for example, glass cannon. You run both at the same time, you're going to lose out on a lot of value. Anyway. Daredevil.
Oh boy, this thing, the lower on health you are, the more additional damage you deal, up to plus 115%.
It's at the top of niche. It's fun, I played with it. When you make a hero build, you might want to run this, and it can be very fun. Once you're super low on HP, you just one-shot everything, but you need to micro really well if you want to use this. Like, you'll go really low HP, and because you're playing a hero build, you're what really matters, and if you die, then you lose the game. So, if you consider yourself someone with a lot of skill, definitely go for this in hero builds, really satisfying.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, next.
Alright, here we go. It's the, wait, where is this bad boy? It's oh, there it is. Double healing. Healing towers can heal 2 targets at once.
It can have some potential. I'll put it at the bottom of B tier and then explain. If you're doing a lot of healing towers and beefy units, for example, the perk that your units have 50% more HP, and advanced healing, the one that gives you 65% more healing, it can be pretty good. Your units will just never die. I've tested it before, and it's pretty hilarious. But it's not that great. It's a fun perk, and you can make it work on some maps with some modifiers.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, fun perk to use, definitely. If you plan to use healing turrets, and you're running commander mode, because healing scales with damage for some reason. So the more damage a turret deals, the more heal it gives. So if you want to do something like that, where you have units that never die, you run Golem as a hero, then definitely go for this. It's pretty cool. Elite Towers.
Right. Ooh, the Elite Towers. So let me see where this bad boy is. One moment. Okay. Elite towers. Every tower that was freshly built or upgraded during the last day receives an elite marker for one night, making it deal plus 65% damage.
Okay. It's gonna be tough between these two, but I think Elite Towers is better. I'll explain. Most of the time, you will fully upgrade in the last wave your towers, and upgrading a tower does trigger this effect. And that's a lot of damage. And of course, when you run this, usually you'll run Commander Mode and Arcane Towers together anyway, so the amount of damage your towers will be dealing will be insane. That 65% damage is a lot. Your Ballista Towers are gonna one-shot pretty much every enemy in the game unless you're running Elites. It's crazy. So
yeah, that's a pretty good one, to be honest.
Yeah. A lot of people think, oh, but it's only for one turn, but like a map has 8, 9, 10, 11 turns, and you're gonna upgrade them throughout them, which triggers this effect. So you build like 5 turrets, triggers the effects early game, so it's super good. Then mid game you upgrade them, triggers an effect on a tough wave, extremely good. And then on the last wave you fully upgrade them, and the damage just spikes insanely much. Alright, next. Elite units.
Elite unit. Ooh, I like this one. Elite warriors, all of your units have plus 50% health. Survivability of the units is, depending on what you're doing, is really, really good. But sometimes it isn't, so that's why I think you putting it in high B is pretty good, I think.
It's
Pretty
either
fair.
low A or high B, but I'm gonna put it in low A for now. It's really
Yeah.
good. It used to be
Honestly,
that
yeah.
your units also had lower respawn times, but that didn't really matter much because people played no respawn on your unit's mutator. So then they just removed it, and it's only a flat 50% health increase. But your units being beefier helps a lot, especially if you're playing with like a lot of healing. This can be really, really good. And your units not dying means you have DPS for longer, so it's a really, really good perk. Not absolutely great, but it's a really good perk. Helps you deal with some waves.
Yeah.
Usually in this game you prefer DPS over tankiness, but this perk alone can get you for some tough situations. Where you have
Extend your
minimal
DPS.
units. Next perk.
Alright, so this one is emergency repairs. Walls are repaired during battle using materials from other walls, allowing them to share their health. This is the one that...
Yeah, they go together.
so-
I'll put them next to each other. I think it's a bit weaker because this one also affects turrets, and having more turret HP is also pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a pretty good perk. Having your walls
I
repaired.
think that's really good.
Of course, unless you're running no walls, in which case both these perks are dead, so you're never gonna pick them.
But yeah, I mean, talking about most games, you will have walls. That one is really good on really, really specifically that one map where it was like the just a one gigantic wall surrounding your whole castle. That was Ufa Wind, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well,
But other than that, but they do take health from every wall on the map. So even if you have a wall on the other side of the map, it will take health from that to put it onto the wall that's being attacked.
but it's still good because
So-
you have inner walls that sit there and do nothing, but now they can transfer health.
Yeah, that's definitely why it deserves to be in the spot.
There's probably gonna be more perks in between them because I think this is slightly more weaker than this, but we'll see when we get there. Another perk.
Yeah. Yeah, alright. I think, yeah, explosive revival, damage enemies around you whenever you are revived.
You don't want to die in the first
Eh.
place, so I'm sorry. You don't want
Yeah.
this perk. If you're dead, you're doing something wrong. You might argue you could pair this with the perk that instantly revives you, but the damage this
Yeah.
deals isn't even worth. I've tested it, and I was expecting a one shot on ogres. It was like a 20% of their HP damage with no modifiers, which is so little it doesn't matter. Maybe it was a bit higher, like 30%. But even if it killed an ogre, I'd be like, okay, if it killed an ogre, maybe maybe I would run it. Simply because I would probably use the summoning circles to summon ogres, kill myself, and kill all of them on revival. But unless you can do that, and let's be real, you could probably micro 3 ogres anyway yourself, so it's not worth it. I would say it's lower
Yeah.
than the boots for now. All right, next.
Alright, next one. The explosive walls. Wait, is my voice glitching?
It's fine. Your voice is fine.
Alright. Explosive walls. Walls explode when destroyed, dealing damage to all enemies near them. The explosion damage increases with the level of the wall.
Okay. It's good. I've played with this a lot. There are some missions where you're required to. And the damage from the explosion, especially on a fully upgraded wall, is a lot. However, I don't think it's better than archery guilds. And I'm not a fan of archery guilds, so...
Yeah.
You played this... When you play this, by the way, do not pick these two. You don't want your walls to be beefy. Let them get destroyed and deal the damage. Just a tip.
Yeah, well that is a given.
Yeah. Alright, next.
Alright, so this is faster research. All of your research starts with 1 day of progress already complete, so all upgrades finish much faster. All upgrades cost -1 gold. This, I need to say, can be really, really good if you utilize it just right.
Yeah, this is very good. This is a very good perk. I played on top end with like max modifiers, or not max, but super close to max. I was trying to limit test the hero only build. And this perk alone is what enables you to even do that. Because it gives you the upgrades a bit faster for your hero to be strong enough to just wipe waves on its own. So it can be very good if utilized correctly. But it is map specific, because not all maps have the thing. Not all maps have research upgrades, but if you play Eternal Trials, then all maps have it. But
Yeah,
I
but
guess
this
applies
is
for
talking about...
anything map specific anyway. So I think it sits here.
I think it's pretty close to Architect's Council, but like maybe just before it. I think it's better than the Harbor.
You think it's
I
better
think it's
than
better
the
than the
Harbor?
Harbor. I think because you can use the research whenever you want, and it will do it really quickly, whereas the Harbor, you have to do it early.
I guess
or
it's
else.
fair. Yeah, I guess it's fair. Yeah.
It's kind of pointless getting that Harbor later, whereas in faster research, you can get that research in real quick and dirty. You know, you can get the 2 days worth of research done in 1 day, and the 3 days only 2 days. That's a big difference.
All right. Moving on. Houses.
Fortified houses. Okay. Houses have plus 250% more health and shoot arrows at enemies, dealing 8 damage to enemies nearby. That's a double on that. That's just repeating.
If the enemies are attacking your houses, something's already wrong. So it's not that good of a
They're
perk.
building the houses. They're building the houses.
That's the meme. I wanted to say they're destroying the houses in one of my runs, and I said they're building the houses. That became a staple meme. I do think it's niche, but a niche that you would never
Wait,
play.
Let me finish though. It says the first level is only every 5 seconds, but on the level 2, it's every 1.75.
Referring to the house level.
Yeah. It's very specific, but it can be really good on certain maps.
There's only one map you play this on. Just one map where you play this on. You play this on the Frost map. Frightfort, I think it's called. And you only play there because you just get houses instead of turrets early if you play that kind of thing.
It's Frost Sea.
Frost
It's
Sea,
Frost
whatever.
Sea.
Yeah, my bad, Frost Sea. But it's between niche and map specific, and I don't even know. But it's a perk you usually will never get ever.
Okay.
It's probably at the bottom of map specific. I'm sorry. Gladiator.
Alright. So, this one is Gladiator School. Units are trained plus 75% faster. Training facilities train a reservist that spawns instantly once the first unit dies.
You're gonna hate me if I put it in niche, right?
Okay, I mean, I
so
won't necessarily hate you. It's just that it is... depends, you know.
Okay, you will... If you play the perk that your units don't respawn, you can't even pick this perk. It does absolutely
It is
nothing.
a mutator. It is a mutator,
Mutator,
and
my
also
bad.
not everyone is going to be using that mutator either. I mean, you could say the same thing about some of these other ones, like the walls one. If you had the nose walls pack, then those are useless. So put
Yeah,
them
but
in
okay,
niche. That
okay.
isn't.
You make a good point. We're gonna do it like this. I think it is better than.
Yeah, I think it's better than archery skills because of how versatile it works with every single unit. If you don't have the enemies, if you don't have the units don't respawn, then that's really, really good.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it just your armies get replenished much, much, much faster, and you already get an instant one as soon as one dies.
I guess. Sure, there's some use in it. Let me think about it.
I just think archery skills, even though I love
they
archery
replenish
skills,
75% faster.
Yeah, 75% faster.
That's a big number. You know what?
Nearly doubled.
On a fully upgraded building, they replenish pretty much in a couple of seconds. You know what? I would probably pick this over the double towers most of the time, I guess, if I were forced to.
Yeah, I do think it's definitely got its perks.
But this one you can play. I mean, you can apply the same rule if you're playing no towers, and you can pick this. So yeah, I guess it fits there better. All right, next.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't hate me, people, especially you orangutan.
Glass cannon. You deal plus 80% more damage, but you have 80% less health.
S tier. Absolutely S tier. It is so good. Sure, you might think the HP is gonna be problematic, but does it really matter when all your enemies are dead anyway? If you micro well and you don't get touched with this, it's just a flat 80% damage increase on your character. If you play a hero build, you must include this. It's incredible how much this counts.
Yeah,
but you are required to micro everything out, so you need to keep in mind. If you don't micro this very well, then don't pick this perk. Pick the HP one instead.
This is what I think. I think I think that should be at the very top of niche.
This one.
I think niche isn't exactly negative. It just means it's I don't think it's good for every purpose. Like when you put in an S, you're expecting it to be good for almost like all situations, whereas with 80% less health, you're kind of limited to just a few things. Because if you don't use them...
It's the same rule as Commander mode done, because Commander mode negates 40% of your total damage.
Yeah, but that's with units, and units are, and buildings and everything else are very much a big part of the game, like a big part of your defenses, whereas you yourself, you're debuffing your health so extremely low. Like, you are a god at micro, so obviously it's going to be S tier for you, but we're talking, like, just generally as a perk itself, I do believe... I don't think this should be in A or B or C or D or whatever. I don't think it's I think it's something that if you use correctly in a niche way,
but
is
I think
one of the best.
Here's why I disagree. You can also use it on the lightning staff, for example, with minimal micro, just sitting away, like super ranged weapons, like not necessarily melee. And in that case, it is S tier because you don't put yourself at risk anyway.
But that's niche. You have to use it with the lightning staff. And every other weapon's kind of meh, especially the melee ones, which can be good. The melee ones, a lot of them have potential, and you can't really use it with this one because you fucking die.
You can. Go spear, use your ability while you take the first hit, and you're gonna out-heal any damage and still kill everything. Or run this on top of this, and you're gonna have enough HP to not care anyway. Or the axe and become invulnerable.
But the way you describe how good it is you describe to me niche scenarios where you use a specific weapon with it, with a specific combination.
I can show you a scenario where this works with any weapon. I mean, in the Gambit event we had earlier, this worked on potions. I was lower on HP, sure, but I was only healing my units, so I never took any damage.
Alright, well, if you think that, I think it should be top of A tier because it can't be used on everything.
Alright, sure. You know what? Fair. Top of A tier it is. You make a point. Coins. Healing coins.
D.
Just,
I need
just
to
tell
describe
players,
what they
just
do,
tell
don't
players
I?
what this does before I throw it in the trash.
Okay, hold on. Healing gold. Collect coins during the night. Collecting coins during the night heals you, which just means you heal a lot of health with every coin that you grab in the night. And no, it's
No.
not very good. You'd rather get something else that actually does things for you. I don't know if I would say it's worse than dying and killing everyone around you when you revive. I almost feel like getting health back is better than that.
No, listen. I'll tell you why this one's a bit better. I actually have a reason for that. If you play with Commander mode and Pacifist, and you kill yourself, you're still gonna deal damage around them that's flat. So it doesn't matter. So you're at least gonna do something useful. With this one, you're gonna do absolutely nothing. If you're in a situation where you could have lived by getting some coins, the situation where you would have lived if you just went away from the enemy. The only situation where you might want to use this is if you're playing the spear, specifically the spear, and glass cannon, and going in them and hoping they drop coins and keep you alive so they don't kill you. But because of your low HP, you're gonna die anyway. It doesn't make much sense to use this perk at all.
Yeah,
Next.
I do think there could be some uses for it, but it's very specific and just not really worth it. So yeah. Now this one is where is this bad boy located? This one, God's Lotion. Is that a G? I think that's God's Lotion.
Yeah, that's
All
God's
right.
lotion.
You regenerate health 110% faster, and the delay before your health regenerations kicks in is reduced by 50%. So you regenerate faster, and also you regenerate much sooner.
I think it's worse than the horse. The speed. The only reason you want to regenerate faster is so you can go back into battle, but I don't know.
Yeah.
If you have the speed, then
Yeah.
the speed allows you to micro things way better, even if you take damage. And having the HP back does exactly almost the same thing, but this one means you're gonna still take a lot of damage. This one means all the damage will be mitigated. So this one's worse, just by objective reasoning here.
Okay.
Next
Healing potions, health potions. All of your units heal themselves by 2.5 health per second. This can have some good uses.
Alright, no,
It's not amazing.
Special message for the devs if you're listening. I beg you, revert this to the older version where it was percentage based. Make it a lower percentage, but please, using this perk with elite units was so good. Your units would just never die unless you were using hardcore modifiers. Yes, it was busted, but you could just nerf it a bit, still make it percentage, and still pair these two. That was amazing. Right now, I've tried it, even with the extra 65% healing perk. It doesn't do much. I only found one use on one specific map in Durstein where I could just overheal a little bit my ranged units before they would get killed, and that bought me enough time. It's so niche, so specific, and I wanted it to be good. It's just, I guess if you're playing without modifier, this is just super good. Otherwise, it's just super bad. Or not super bad, just there's a lot of better perks you could go for. If the enemy waves come in slow, gives you a lot of time for your units to regen, it's nice. It can be good. I'll pick it over archery guilds, sometimes. But not all the times. I think in the current state of the game, archery guilds are just better. But I would pick it over exploding walls any day. So, C tier for now. I'm sorry, this would have been a high A tier before the nerf, or even S. Now,
honestly,
it's fallen.
If they only healed like 2% or even 1.5% or 1.75%,
it used to be 5%.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Good God, 5% per second is absurd.
Oh yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was either 5 or 3%, but I think it was 5% because I remember it healing a ton. Like you could see that bar just boom moving up like a lot, especially with the lead units. Anyway, healing perk. What was this called?
This is Healing Spirits. All healing effects on you and your units are plus 65% more effective.
It's a good perk. It's
pretty good.
It's pretty good perk. If you're playing with healing, this is probably even better than your towers shoot twice. Because, okay,
yeah,
it's better than that. Only if you're using other healing methods like the healer hero. If you're using the healer hero and use this and the golem, that golem will not die ever, unless your healer dies first, or you're running insane mutators. Because of that fact alone, I would put it in high B tier. Maybe here. I think this is a good spot. I still think this one's better overall for most players. But if you're doing something very specific, this would be better. And it's not necessarily niche, because healing is pretty good in the game. Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one.
Yeah, because I think it's one of the best ones for some things.
And I think it's one of the
heavy
worst
armor.
ones.
Heavy armor, you have a massive plus 250% more health and plus 35% more self-healing. I do not think it's worse than a lot of those things in C tier, bro. I'm just saying this right now. The amount of strats that you can use with this, especially the melee.
Okay, if you're playing a melee build, have some healing towers or the healing hero to heal yourself and try to play like that, and maybe run glass cannon to counteract some effects. Yes, it can be good.
I do think at least B tier, at the very least, because I personally think the 250% extra health can really help, especially if you're not microing.
Yeah, if you're not microing, this is pretty good perk. You know what? I'll put it even higher than the 65% healing. No, I will not. I will not. Who am I kidding? Okay, there we go. I think it sits well where it is right now.
Yeah.
Because if I'm forced to choose, I'd pick any of these over the 250% any day.
But yeah, I just think from personal use, I think it's one of the better ones. It's kind of like the antithesis of the glass cannon.
Freezing.
But now freezing, this thing, ice magic. Every enemy you touch is slowed. All slow effects on enemies last plus 200% longer, and slowed enemies move 40% slower.
Okay. Before it was absolute trash, I'd put it in D. But after the buff, oh boy, this one's really good. You play lightning staff, you touch everyone goes immediately slow, buys you a lot of time. If you play spear, they're slowed for ages. It's so good. I think I would put it in high B. No, it's probably better than the walls and towers. I think it's bottom A tier. It's really good. If you're a new player, you play this, the game's gonna feel so much easier. You wanna practice kiting, use this perk, and it's gonna, it allows you to actually practice without dying all the time, and you can get better by using this perk. It's very underutilized a lot. A lot of runs can be better with this. It's not world record level, but especially for a lot of players, this can help you win your run like a lot. Just give this perk a chance. You'll be surprised at how much slow this. Especially if you're playing the Phoenix, I think. I don't know. It's a mutator that makes your enemies 75% faster or more. Was it 100%? I don't remember. But this one counteracts that pretty much. So it deserves a pretty high note. Interest.
I think this one deserves to be niche, but let me read this out. Interest, at the beginning of each night, you gain 1 gold for every 3 gold you have left in your chest, rounded up, but never more than 20.
Okay, so I'll explain. If you go eco, like specifically trying to get the world record through economy, you need this perk. It gives you the most gold possible. It's not even close.
Yeah, this is
except for
definitely-
some maps where you're gonna spend all your eco for defenses on super high mutators. This would work really well on most maps where you just eco rush. So I'll put it in niche, but it's probably between A and S tier, so it's really good.
Like when it comes to making gold for like one of those things, it's definitely like the top.
The best,
But
yeah.
but it's very niche for that specific thing. Otherwise, it's it's decent, but yeah.
Like you will never like you're just gonna do this for trying to get records, not to actually win a map.
Indeed.
Okay. Oh yeah, another tip for players who want to run this perk: build your economy structures first, all of them, and then let this run, and try to buy as much time as possible. Remember, it's capped, so once you have 60 gold, you can start spending on army and towers. But do not go below 60 gold with this after you've built your economy structures. Next, what do we have here?
Alright, we have Last Stand. If your castle center falls below 50% of its health, all your towers are revived.
If your castle falls below 50% health, you've lost the game. Okay, not necessarily. There's some clutch moments, but you don't want to be in clutch moments in the beginning, so no. Even when I ran this perk, I didn't even get an opportunity to trigger it. There's just a million better options. Now the question is, what's worse? I think it's better than gold.
Look, I think I only really see it on the last level where like all your towers have been destroyed on the very last level, and like the king goes halfway through your castle and then all of your ballistas come back up again and they start attacking. That's the only reason I could see that being even lightly useful.
Okay, but here's the problem with this, right? Let's say, okay, you know what this perk should do, and it'd be actually way better? If it also fully restored your castle. Because all your turrets respawn, but the enemies are already at your castle, and by the time the turrets are gonna kill the enemies, your tower's gonna be bye-byed. That's the problem. If it's also restored to full HP, maybe it'd be a bit better. What did this one do? This was
damages on revive.
Oh, no, I think this is better than that. Oh, I think it's the best one in D tier, actually. Wow. The others are so much worse. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Attack speed.
Ooh, I think this one has definitely some uses.
I think it's called featherweight, actually.
Lighter materials.
Oh, I'm so wrong.
Your auto attack cooldown is reduced by minus 33%, so you shoot a third faster with anything. I personally think it has some pretty damn good
Oh no, for sure. It's 33% increased DPS on your hero. If you go hero build, you run this, doesn't matter. So it's great. I'm putting it above those two.
It's good for basically every single weapon. Yeah. Like, because it makes it fire faster on your king, so it deserves that.
It's amazing on Blood Wand. Or it used to be before the nerf.
Yeah.
Now it's still pretty good. DPS is pretty high. Lone.
One of my favorites.
Either top of A tier or S tier.
Hold on. Start the level with +7 gold, but the first 10 gold dropped by enemies disappears. I do think this deserves to be up there in S tier because it allows you to get such a good early start on every map that if you're going for any decent score, you need Lone, because otherwise your start is going to be really shaky, even with the -10 gold dropped from enemies. That's fine because you'll just get gold anyways later on, so...
This enables so many strategies, so many things. So many good runs, almost all of them use Lone. It's not even worth arguing. You're playing Durstein, congrats, you have Lone, you have 3 mines going now. Your economy just completely skyrockets from there. Lone is just the beauty.
It is.
But it's not better than Commander mode, but yeah. Okay, this.
Alright, well, oh boy, okay. So this one, where is this located? This melee damage. Your units, and all of your buildings start the game with +35% melee damage. What buildings have melee damage? That's my question.
The oil turrets. The drop
the
hot oil or
turret?
tar, whatever they're called. Yeah, those are melee. Yeah, this one increases that damage.
Okay, alright. 35% is definitely a decent jump, though.
It is.
Because if it was 25%, this would be dog water. But 35%, it's decent. If you're going with a melee focused game, I think it does give you the edge. But if you're not melee focused, yeah.
It is.
But otherwise, pretty good one.
It is right here. Maybe not stronger necessarily than the healing.
Yeah.
If your hero's melee
healing.
and you get melee early, spear people especially benefit the most from this because they have the highest DPS. So it's a pretty good perk usually. If you play melee and your units are melee early, this can make a difference.
It'll be good with berserkers. It'll be good with berserkers.
It would be good with berserkers. It'd be good with spear people. Not so much with knights. Maybe with flails a little, because they have lifesteal and such. But anyway, moving on. Melee resistance.
All right, I think when a melee resistance, your units and all your buildings start the game with plus 30% resistance against melee attacks.
Yeah. The problem is it's at the top of C tier, sure, you can use it, but I would rather spend 4 gold and a perk slot for it, so keep that in mind. Right now I think it's better than the potion, so anyone questioning that, yeah, this one is way better, percentage is better than flat. It's better than archery guilds, maybe.
I think they're on a similar level, so I mean...
They're very close, higher, you can choose whichever.
Whatever that is. I think the ranged damage one, when we get to that, like, that's gonna be way better than the melee one.
You know, I've been thinking a lot, actually. I've changed my mind. I think archery guilds and these deserve to be in B tier, and I think these ones deserve to be in C tier.
Okay.
Like, so. Yeah, this makes a lot more sense, actually. Because I do think these actually have more potential.
Yeah.
Like, archery guild has been bullied so much, but the more I play with it, the more I'm like, damn, they hit from there? That's insane.
Yeah, and the projectile speed also allows it to kill faster.
Killing faster.
This is why I've used it so much. I've used it so much that I've, already gotten a bit of sympathy for that one. But anyways.
Circus.
Outpost. Start the game with 2 free towers far from your castle center, map specific.
Map specific. Also, I thought more about it. Maybe all the shrines, even though it's map specific, might be better than harbors. On some maps, but I guess...
On some maps. But there's more harbors, I'm pretty sure, than shrines.
Shrines? Want me to count?
Like, or I think the potential of harbor is better than the possible potential of shrines.
So three.
If you want to activate all your...
There's 3 harbors on Frostsea. There is none on the first 2 maps, none on the tutorial map.
The tutorial map doesn't have that much at all.
Yeah, that's true. There's that big map that has like another 3, but I forgot the name of it. The super large green map. I'm not good with the names of the maps. Let's see. Thronefall maps. I have an image of all of them. Let's see. Okay, so there's Frostsea, Ufferwind. It's called Ufferwind? I thought it's Earthwind. Oh well.
I thought Ufferwind.
Okay, Ufferwind has 3. Sturmklamm I don't think has any. Wildbach has 2, I think, right? Did you build? Moorweg has 1. And Fryford has 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 harbors, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more shrines.
But the thing about the shrines is that you need a lot of enemies to activate all of them.
I guess you're right, but the amount of gold you get from having all of them already unlocked.
Yeah. But you need to kill more enemies on top of them, on top of
no,
all
I think
that.
it's.
And you can already buy.
Okay.
But you can already buy shrines. So, but you can't buy an improved harbor, is what.
Okay, but here's what I'm gonna tell you. If I could redo the Gambit event, and instead of harbors have the shrines, it would give me a lot more gold at the end of the game. I know because wasn't it you who tried it? No, it was Pirates, so I'll give him credit. He actually tried it with the shrines, and he managed to get way more gold than if he did with harbors. So on that fact alone, I'll base my thing that having all shrines at the beginning is better on that specific map, which was Fryfort.
Okay.
But if you have 3 ports, then it's probably better. If you have only 2, then shrines is better. So just think of them as at the same level for now. Power Tower, S tier. Probably the best
Power
in
Tower.
the game.
Okay, Power Tower. The tower you are closest to gets a significant attack speed boost of plus 266%, which the closest tower is any tower that is closer to you. Even if there's one tower on the map, that one tower, wherever you are on the map, will always have that speed boost.
The amount of value you get from this perk, I remember someone calculated it, is more than anything else. Absolutely more than like simple value. This one gives you more than anything else. Like a lot of records you'll see don't run any perks for towers, but they just have power towers simply because they'll just build one, and the amount of DPS they get from it is absolutely crazy. You make it. You can either make it a sniper ballista and just watch tough enemies just disappear one by one. It's beautiful. Power tower, absolutely god tier. But the only reason I'm not putting it at the highest is because value is nice, but you know, 40% across everything is. You know what? Power tower deserves its crown. Pristines! Oh, don't I love Pristines?
Dethroned. Now, when it comes to the Pristines, I like Pristines. I think Pristines are the better of the, more expensive units, but they're more powerful. They can help a lot on certain strats. And especially if you have excess gold and you're not worried about, saving gold, it's very, very much worth it because of the amount of damage output you could get, and the survivability is increased on top of that. So, let me read both of those out because they're both basically the same thing but for different units. Pristine Archers, ranged units are twice as expensive, but they deal plus 75% more damage and plus 75% more health. Pristine Warriors, melee units are twice as expensive, but they deal plus 75% more damage and have plus 75% more health, like the Pristine Archers. And, yeah.
The only reason that Pristine Archer is usually more popular and played more is because unless you're playing Spearmen, they have the higher DPS. Especially Hunters, they benefit a lot from it.
Yeah, but why did you put the melee one so high? Remember we talked about it. We tried using the melee.
I think they're still better than elite units by a large margin. Maybe this one's in between them. But I don't think they're that far behind. I know this is better, and I don't think this is that much worse because I've played them a lot. I have a couple runs using them right now.
I think the thing is that the archers, all of the archers benefit from that perk, but with the Pristine Warriors, it's mostly one, and most of the others get like maybe a decent amount.
Yeah,
but you could say that about both.
Spear, Flail. The only ones not benefiting much is the Knights, but then again, you could say the same thing about, I don't know, the longbows.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess longbows. I don't know, but I think this looks fine.
You could probably see like the positives for all of them. Like, the Knights having more health and being able to dish out more damage is very good for keeping their tankiness up. But again, yeah, they're on a very similar level. To be honest, you could just put them next to each other again if you think they're that close, and I believe you. It's just I think Pristine Warriors have more situations where they shine.
You mean archers?
Yeah, Pristine Archers.
Yeah. I think it's fine as the way they are. I think they're not as good.
Yeah.
Alright, Pumpkin Fields used to be insane, now it's also pretty good.
So Pumpkin Fields, every mill gives +1 income, and fields have 400% more health. That is a pretty helpful thing, though. The fields being more difficult to destroy is definitely a nice positive.
Yeah, like without that, your fields on Northfell just completely go bye-bye. So you need to run that perk specifically for that, not necessarily the gold income.
Yeah, although I have, with the wind spirits, I was able to just, have my windmills not take any damage whatsoever. But again, you're right. The fields do get targeted by those archers, so...
Alright, so range damage.
Range damage. You, your units, and all your buildings start the game with +25% range damage.
It's crazy good.
Yeah, on its own, it's not very good, but if you combine it with some other things, it's a nice, extended. It adds more to, the damage.
Okay, watch this. The ranged damage resistance.
I believe the range damage resistance is much better than the range damage itself, because, let me see here. What does it say on the range damage? Ranged resistance. You, your units, and all of your buildings start the game with +30% resistance against ranged attacks. Oh my lord. 30% resistance against ranged attacks, I think, is better than the +25% range damage.
It is.
In my opinion.
It is way better. What way better?
You put it lower than it, though.
Wait, then what?
I said the 30% range damage, 30% defense against range damage is better than the +25% range damage, and you put it lower on B tier.
No. I disagree. It might be better than the melee one, but I don't think it's better than the ranged one. The ranged one affects so many things that it's just better, I think.
Yeah, but the range damage also affects so many things that you could technically just... Especially the ranged enemies that deal a lot of damage, the 30% extra resistance on everything, like all of your buildings and everything, is a really, really big help. I think it might be better than health potions. Personally, anyways.
Oh, wait. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe even the melee resistance is a bit better, now that I think about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is better. Yeah. All right.
I think that's a little bit more fair. Ooh, okay. Let's see this one. Relentless research. Research buildings immediately continue to make research progress when they respawn after being destroyed. That is okay. One thing I'm gonna say. I do hate when my research buildings get destroyed on certain maps, and one specific map, one very, very specific map that haunts me, Uferwind. They just kill all my research because they're literally out in the open to get destroyed. And
yeah, but the question is, annoying. I think another perk would enable protecting them than getting this and having them continue. So
I think that deserves to be on the lowest of niche.
What? There's no way. There's no way this is not D tier. I'm sorry, no way. This is just the perk you will never use. Like, imagine you have 5 slots for perks. You could choose this, or you could choose Priestine, more economy. You can choose enemies being slowed for 1,000,000 years, more HP on your walls and on your towers, more damage, extra healing for your units. You can choose even archery guilds. I would never pick this ever. Ever. Not even niche, not even on a build, nothing. For it to be niche, it would make me think, okay, on one specific map, on one specific turn, maybe I absolutely need it for me to be able to win. But I'll be able to win regardless. I'll just protect them better with better unit placement.
Yeah. Anyways,
Next one.
next one. So this one is resilient residences. Your houses have plus 100% more health and are fully repaired before the first day, like to continue paying taxes when destroyed. Wow, they are resilient. Does that stack with the fortified houses?
It does. It does. It makes houses very tanky.
Interesting.
But why would you pick this? I guess if you lose houses, they get rebuilt. But there's no map where you would forcefully lose houses. You can protect all houses across all maps if played correctly. So
Okay.
for
in
new
D tier, I would
players,
say
for new players,
no, not even with new players. Even when I was a new player, I don't think it's even that good. I think D tier, below health coins. No, actually, maybe above health coins. Yeah, yeah. I suppose it's better than the research thing.
because houses generate. No, actually, maybe you're right. Something
Look,
like
the
that.
thing is that I think the relentless research is better than the houses because you're not going to allow your house to get destroyed anyways. Because
Yeah,
if you
that's
allow your
fair.
houses to get destroyed,
Yeah, that's fair.
you're
That's fair.
kind of. And also, it's only 100% extra health on top of like just being able to get more money from houses. Houses aren't going to be your main economy source, anyways. They're going to be a good, backbone, I guess, to your other economies. But the other economies generate way more gold. So,
Okay.
Anyway.
Revival.
Ooh, okay. I mean, it's neat. The King of Resurrection. The first time you die each night, you are revived immediately, and all of your dead units are revived with you.
Alright, so fun thing. When I was doing Nordfells, I found a strat that involved this, where I would intentionally try to kill all my units, only to revive and respawn all of them. Because it was the only way to respawn units, because of no unit respawn mutator. So I found some use in it. Of course,
That's not bad.
it's just very bad. Unless you find a very specific way of utilizing it that's necessary, you'll never use this. But maybe it has some potential. And
Yeah, I think
because of
it's
that,
niche.
I think it's
Yeah.
there.
Do you think it's better than the less health and less damage on flying?
I think
Enemies?
yes, simply because it has more potential. Imagine you have heroes, you have all your army, you're in the last wave, they all die, so then you suicide yourself for all of them to respawn, and now you have double the amount of units throughout that wave.
Yeah, fair
So,
enough.
It's pretty good sometimes.
Now, the next one is bottom of D tier.
Bottom of B tier?
Royal Mint. Your castle center produces 1, 2, or 3 additional gold per day, depending on its level. Is this really that useful though? Because it's not that much gold, and you'd better off be getting gold from other sources.
The only... One gold can make you from 3 gold to 4 gold, enabling you to buy army on that specific second round.
You know what, actually? This better fits niche. I think this is more niche than it is useful. I think it's niche like you described for your,
Yeah.
even you said it's just for a
Yes.
specific thing like that. It's not as good as interest, obviously, but I think it's a niche. Very niche.
Yeah,
I think,
guess, but it's
I
pretty high
think,
up there.
I don't think, I do not think it's better than Daredevil.
Yeah, no,
honestly.
it's not better than Daredevil. I think it fits well here.
Yeah.
Alright, next.
Alright. Ooh, okay. I haven't seen this one in a hot minute. Royal Protection. Your units receive minus 60% damage while following you around.
Niche.
Pretty
Very
niche.
niche. The thing is, there are funny things you can do with it, for sure. Like, for example, the super slow units like the crossbowmen. You select them and they'll still be hit by rangers and by horsemen. So they'll still take a lot of damage. With this, they'll take a little bit less. It's absolutely useless. It is so bad. It's not even niche, it's D tier. No, I can't. I want it to be good. Sure,
Yeah.
60% less. This would be niche if it said your units while following you. You know what I haven't tested though? Because this might matter a lot. What does it mean when they follow you? When they're selected? Or even after you're really selected and they're walking towards you? Because they're still walking towards you.
No, I think it's when you select them.
Oh, then it's absolutely D tier. Yeah, not even.
I think it's only. I honestly think it's shit, and that's about it.
Wait, this doesn't make any sense because when you select units, a lot of enemy units drops aggro on them, so it doesn't make sense.
It says while following you around. That typically means when you have them selected. I mean, if you have the castle upgrade where they attack while you're selected them, that's the only reason I can see it being even slightly useful.
Maybe, yeah, niche.
Bottom of niche.
Bottom of niche. Next.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. Spell scroll. The cooldown of your active ability is reduced by minus 35%.
Can be useful on the healing potion weapon, on the spear.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good on a fair few things. Like, being able to reuse your active ability faster is definitely a very good positive thing. Not as good as, like, the attack cooldown one, but I think this is definitely better than the horse sprinting. I gotta say. I mean, the amount of potential you can have with it is really good. Like,
Actually,
I think it's above.
the more I think about it, especially if you micro really well, this can be very useful early. But I don't think it's better than these two.
I suppose, but with certain weapons, it can be really good. Like, I can imagine you'll be able to lay more traps much more faster. You could use
fair,
your...
I guess. Yeah, alright, next. Heroes, stronger heroes.
Ooh, stronger heroes. Your hero units from the Heroes Quarter have plus 50% more health and are plus 40% stronger.
That is insanely good. I would put it high in A tier.
Yeah, but it only works on maps with heroes in it.
But a lot of maps have heroes in it.
Uh,
After Frostsea, all of them have heroes.
True.
So that's
Wait, no, Frosty doesn't have. Oh yeah.
after
yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maps where you can use it, and 4 maps where you can't. So you can in the majority of maps. So it's really good. Like when you run stronger heroes with commander mode, fully upgrade one hero, and suddenly it's GG. He alone kills everything.
Yeah, that's pretty
mines.
good. All right. Ooh, mines. Okay, let me see the thing here. Sustainable mining. Your mines produce +1 gold, and their income is reset back to 7 every time they are destroyed. That is actually really good.
It is. If you use this perk well and reset your mines, the amount of gold you get is crazy good.
It is, though. It is really good. And that little boost at the beginning is definitely pretty helpful, too. Like, if you get a bunch of mines.
You know, I thought more about it. I'm gonna take harbors out of map specific. And we're gonna actually categorize them correctly. I think both of these are A tier. When it comes to economy. And I think harbors are better than mines. Although, no, definitely harbors are better than mines. You get more economy. But maybe mines are not better than this. Maybe not even better than range damage.
What you did there, I do believe harbors being an A is really good. If you can get them early, that is really, really good. Again, I didn't mind them being high in something, but
You think they're better than the Frost?
no, I didn't think it was better. I meant that it's very specific. If you can get it early, if you don't get it early, then it's useless.
Yeah, well, you have to get them early.
But,
Anyway. Most people build ports day 1, day 2. There's no reason to build ports at any other point anyway, so this makes sense. Alright, next. Tower scaffolding.
Yeah, timber scaffolding.
Oh, it's timber.
Tower upgrades are no longer limited by the castle's center level, and the build cost of towers is reduced by 1. So instead of spending 3 gold in every tower, it's 2.
If you make a tower build, it's pretty good.
Pretty good for a tower build, I have to say. Like, really, really good.
Somewhere in B tier, the question is where? I think they're...
I think it's better than health potion, but I don't know.
Wait, I just remembered, like, resistance is better than health potions anyway. What am I doing?
Honestly, I don't know why health potion is so high.
It can be good. No, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe it should be at the top of C tier.
I think top of C tier for what it is at the moment.
Treasury.
Ooh.
Another niche. But it's better than gold.
It's very niche. Yeah. It's Treasure Hunter. You get plus 15, plus 25, and plus 40 extra gold before the last 3 waves.
It's a lot of gold. But
a lot of gold.
If playing correct with other perks, you might get more than that usually, so that's why people don't really pick it.
Yeah.
Warhorse. This one. Oh,
War. Alright, so Warhorse. Your horse is 20% faster, and riding over enemies deals 2.5 damage to them and 0.25 damage to you.
S tier. Bottom of S tier. Not even close.
I've never used it, so...
Okay, so... It enables... I remember a long time ago, I'm not sure if it's still as good anymore, when Pyres was playing for the world record on Nordfells, you were able with the spear and this perk to pretty much solo clear with Wasp the first 3 waves, which was insane with just perfect micro, because the extra speed enabled you to micro better. But nowadays, I guess skill ceiling has moved a bit, so people do it without the Warhorse. But Warhorse just allows you to just be better at the game, I guess, because of the speed. But nowadays, maybe it's just, I don't know, high in A tier.
Yeah, high A tier.
Or maybe it's niche.
Honestly,
maybe it's probably niche, because you need to know what you're doing with this perk. If you don't know what you're doing, this perk doesn't mean anything to you. And I think it's probably here next to Daredevil. Warrior mode.
Ooh, okay. Warrior training. Your weapon becomes more powerful every night, all the way up to plus 100% for the final night.
Alright, when you play a warrior build, you're gonna get this pretty much always. It scales very nicely, so I think it's A tier. I think it sits here.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's how it should look. And we have one last perk.
Alright, here we go. What's this bad boy? Experience gain. Whenever any of your units respawns at its training facility, it gets plus 6% attack damage and health for the rest of the night. Effect can stack.
It's good if you play with Gladiator, I guess. But it's worse than Gladiator, so... it's actually very bad on its own. On its own, it's niche, I think.
Yeah, I think it's better than... Yeah, that's about it. Actually, I'm looking at the things now on here. I think Elite Tower For top of A, I don't know. I think Elite Tower is really, really good. That's Arcane. I'm talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna
Swinging
say.
them around.
Could Elite Tower get into S tier though? Because plus 65% damage.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, you could do this, I guess.
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, now you got a full perk set on S tier, right?
Yeah, well, there you go. Our tier list, I suppose. Fully done with all the perks in Thronefall. Do the subscribe button, whatever, and yeah, great. Have a great one.
Do not subscribe.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Dislike.
You're not gonna get content out of this. I'm gonna post random shit videos, so don't even bother. Yeah, have a great one. Good luck in Thronefalling. Don't fall.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thronefalling. We fallen.
We fall. Bye-bye.
Thronefalling.